Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel for another episode of our Hidden Gem series. Let's kick things off by exploring some Hidden Gem games. And be sure to stick around for my ratings towards the end, where I'll share my insights on why each one deserves your attention. Ready? Let's get started. Enter Pandoria, where strategy and artistry collide, and every move shapes your destiny. Pandoria is a territory building and economic strategy board game that incorporates diverse mechanics such as tile placement, area influence, enclosure, and hand management. Designed by Jeffrey D. Allers and Bernd Eisenstein, with illustrations by Matthias Catherine, Javier Gonzalez Cava, Christian Operer, and Lucas Sigmon. This second edition was published by Iron Games in 2024, building upon the foundations laid by the original edition in 2018. Set in a vibrant fantasy world, players assume the roles of various realms, competing for dominance in the newly discovered land of Pandoria. After a devastating attack by the goblin hordes shattered the peace among the 5 realms: elves, mages, dwarves, halflings, and humans. These factions found refuge in an uncharted territory. Here they seek to establish their civilizations, reclaim resources, and outshine their rivals. Players will expand their territories by placing tiles and deploying workers to gather resources: crystals from mountains, gold from hills, wood from forests, and glory points from cities. The game encourages cooperation amidst rivalry, as players aim to earn the most glory and emerge as the strongest realm in the burgeoning history of Pandoria. Let me teach you how the game is played, and I'll give you my final thoughts afterward. Tutorial. Components: 1 double-sided game board, 1 rulebook, 5 realm tableaus plus 4 promo realm tableaus, 10 custom cards, 2 for each realm, 44 common cards, 1 starting player tile, 13 monuments, 4 point tiles, 2 starting double tiles, 48 double tiles, 8 single tiles. Player components: 4 leaders, 1 each in 4 colors, 8 castles, 2 each in 4 colors, 16 markers, 1 each in 4 colors for wood, crystal, gold, and points. Setup: 1. Game board. The double-sided game board features Pandoria A and the river B. Players can decide which side to use based on the desired game experience. The board illustrates the fertile land of Pandoria, which players will explore and settle. 2. Player preparation. Place the game board at the center, shuffle the realm tableaus, and distribute 1 to each player. Choose the game version: Side A for beginners or Side B for the complete game. Shuffle all cards and create a face-down deck, drawing 4 cards to place face-up in the card market. Each player then draws 4 cards from the top of the face-down deck into their hands, keeping them hidden from opponents. 3. Resource markers. Each player selects a color and takes their corresponding leader, workers, markers, and 2 castles. Players begin with different numbers of workers based on the total player count. Players place their resource markers on their starting locations, depending on which realm they have received. Players also place their scoring marker on the 0 space on the score track. 4. Tile placement and distribution. Randomly place the starting double tiles on the designated spots on the board. Mix the remaining double tiles, and allow players to draw 1 tile each. A set number of double tiles will be randomly removed from the game based on the total player count. Mix the single tiles face down and form a stack. Place the point tiles next to the board. 5. Monument setup. Organize monuments in descending order based on their values, and remove some based on the number of players. 6. Starting player. The youngest player takes the starting player marker and begins the game. How to play. Players take turns in clockwise order, executing the following actions in order. 1. Place a double tile or castle. Players must position a tile adjacent to at least 1 existing tile. The tile must be entirely placed on unoccupied tile spaces. If a region is closed, remove all workers from that area. A region consists of 1 or more adjacent spaces of the same terrain. Notes: Workers remain on castles and ships, even after they have been completely surrounded. When playing with side B of the board, the players move their worker leader that are on completely surrounded ships immediately to the next vacant ship on the river in a certain direction. If there are no more vacant ships, the playing piece returns to its owner. 2. Place or remove a worker. Players may deploy a worker onto the newly placed tile, or remove one from the board. The leader is always the last piece to be placed, unless otherwise stated. Each space on the board may be occupied by one playing piece only, and no piece may be placed onto a closed region. 3. Play a card or erect a monument. Players may use a card as a spell, or building, or erect a monument, paying the respective costs. Slide used spells underneath your realm tableau at the top right corner, and slide constructed buildings underneath your realm tableau at the bottom, in one of the 5 slots. You may construct another building on top of another constructed building, paying the difference, with a minimum cost of 1. Monuments can only be erected on top of an already constructed building. The monument costs 8 minus the cost of the building you cover, the difference. You earn the depicted glory points from the erected monument. Notes: spells are one-time use effects that trigger immediately after use. When playing with side B of the game board, players may cast the spell Astral Ship for 8 crystals. That's printed on the game board instead of performing this action. Please note that you get the discount in crystals that's depicted on the ship itself, regardless whether or not you have cast the spell from the board itself, or you have played the Astral Ship spell card. Constructed buildings have various effects. You may never construct an identically named building that you already own. A monument may never be overbuilt. 4. Score closed regions and then buy a card. If a region is closed, scored based on the workers directly adjacent to that region. All applicable players may earn the rewards. Then only the player who closed the region or regions may follow up by buying a single card from the card market. If a card was purchased, refill the card market back to 4. 5. Draw a double tile. If a double tile was played, draw a new one from the stack. Closing a region and scoring. A region is considered closed when surrounded by other types of terrain or boundaries. Scoring occurs when a region is closed, with all players who have directly adjacent workers, leaders, receiving benefits based on their resources and count. You score the product number of the depicted icons multiplied by the amount of your workers. Leader counts as 2. If any resource marker goes beyond 10, you score 1 glory point for each 3, rounded down. Terrain types and uses. Forests. Wood, used to construct buildings or erect monuments. Mountains, crystals, used to play spell cards. Hills, gold, used to purchase cards from the card market. Cities, glory points, straight up glory points. Exit paths. If a region is connected to an exit path of the same terrain, this region is never closed and therefore never scored. End of game. The game concludes at the end of a round where no double tiles are left to draw. Players tally glory points based on their remaining hand cards and resources. Each remaining hand card earns you a single glory point. Each 3 of each resource type earns you a single glory point, rounded down. The player with the highest amount of glory points is declared the winner of Pandoria. Unique realm abilities. Each realm possesses unique abilities that add strategic depth, allowing for varied gameplay and interactions. Game modes and variants. Beginner's game mode. Players use side A of their realm tableaus, plus lighter game rules. Complete game mode. Players use side B of their realm tableaus. Advanced game mode. Players play with the unique realm abilities and side B of their realm tableaus. Partnership game variant. Family game. Family game with spells. And that's how you play Pandoria. Now let's dive into the differences and changes between the first and second editions. Changes. The second edition of Pandoria, released in 2024, features several updates and improvements. The game board is now double-sided, offering more gameplay options. The designs of the 5 realms have been refreshed for a modern look. The cover art is brighter and friendlier, enhancing the overall appeal. The cards have a slightly different size for improved handling. Some realm characteristics have been revised to enhance balance and gameplay experience. The rulebook has been expanded by 4 additional pages, providing clearer instructions and more comprehensive guidance. The starting player tile has been newly designed for a fresh aesthetic. Having played the original release of Pandoria back when it first launched, I can confidently say that the second edition has only enhanced my enjoyment of this fantastic game. The experience it offers reminds me of the classic board game Go, where the primary objective is to capture territory. In Go, the strategy revolves around encircling as much area as possible, capturing opposing stones along the way. Similarly, Pandoria's gameplay revolves around strategic territory building, making it a delight for fans of strategic board games. The gameplay in Pandoria is exceptionally solid and tons of fun, with a depth that keeps each session engaging. Players must carefully plan their moves, strategically deciding when to deploy castles, and which terrains to surround to maximize their potential for scoring resources and points. The interaction with opponents adds another layer of strategy, as players must also block scoring opportunities to prevent others from gaining an advantage. One of my favorite mechanics in the game is tile placement. It's executed brilliantly, and I absolutely love it. The strategic nature of the game ensures that every decision counts. Additionally, the various card abilities and effects available allow players to customize their round tableau, enhancing the gameplay experience. The spell cards come in handy at crucial moments, demanding that players thoughtfully manage their resources. The replayability of Pandoria is impressive, especially with the unique realm abilities and various game modes, including the partnership game variant, which is also a fantastic option to explore and I highly recommend. Each realm plays differently, providing a fresh and exciting experience with every session. The game is dynamic and fast-paced. While it doesn't have the complexity or tension of Go, it remains a delight to play. Whether you're playing with 2 players, where a complete game in advanced mode can take about an hour, or with 3 to 4 players, where it may stretch closer to 90 minutes or 2 hours, the game remains enjoyable. The competitive element shines at 4 players, while it can be thoughtfully strategic at 2. The artwork in Pandoria is gorgeous. The illustrations pop, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the visuals across all components, from the cards to the realm tableaus and the game box itself. The game looks incredible. Although the iconography is somewhat clear, a player aid would be beneficial for new players, especially regarding the various spell and building effects. This would enhance the experience during the initial games. The components are standard but serve their purpose well. I particularly enjoyed the different meeples included. They were definitely a highlight. While the game box lacks an insert, all components fit snugly inside. Overall, Pandoria is an incredible game that I always look forward to playing. It was one of my favorites in 2018, and I'm thrilled to see it return with a new second edition, offering even more content. I'd be delighted to play it at any time. Jeffrey D. Allers and Bernd Eisenstein have created a standout title in the world of tile placement games. Having collaborated on various projects including Alia Ekta S, they continue to impress. If you enjoy games like Yellow and Yangtze, Salamanca, Carcassonne, or any of Jeffrey's titles such as Citrus or Gunkimono, Pandoria is sure to resonate with you as well. The game is truly a gem, and I'm excited for new players to discover it. Next up, we have Crime Never Pays, a timeless reminder of the inevitable consequences of illegal actions. In a world where every criminal thinks they can outsmart the system, one truth remains: perfection is an illusion. Welcome to the unpredictable realm of crime. Riffifi is a unique card game crafted by the acclaimed game designer Stefan Dura, with illustrations by Klaus Bokel, and published by Winning Moves Germany in 2000. Designed for 3 to 5 players, this game typically lasts about 30 minutes and is suitable for ages 10 and up. The game probably draws inspiration from the 1955 French film noir Riffifi, directed by Jules Dassin. In the game Riffifi, players find themselves amidst a heist spoils, a substantial pile of cash on the table, with a gang of characters eager to claim their share. As each player takes turns making demands by playing cards, the stakes rise. Be too greedy and you might end up with nothing. Be too timid and your share could dwindle. Cunningly, players must also keep an eye on their companions, as betrayal can come from unexpected quarters. With the likes of Scarred Eddie, Climbing Max, Blondie, the Icy Lily, and the Handsome Fred, the thrill of the game heightens as they negotiate their loot. Now let me teach you how the game is played, and I'll give you my final thoughts afterward. Tutorial. Components: 1 rulebook, 60 loot chips, 12 each in 5 different colors, 40 cards, 8 each of values 1 to 8 in 5 different colors, 1 officer card. Setup. Begin by placing the 60 loot chips in the center of the table. The officer card is not needed and is only used in a specific game variant. Shuffle the 40 cards and deal them face down. For 4 or 5 players, each receives 10 or 8 cards respectively. In a 3-player game, remove 4 random value 1 cards beforehand, allowing each player to receive 12 cards face down. All players take their cards into their hand. If any player has 5 or more cards of the same color, all cards are reshuffled and dealt anew. How to play. Playing cards. The game kicks off with the player to the dealer's left playing a card of their choice face up on the table. Following in a clockwise direction, each subsequent player also places a card face up. Only 1 card of each color can be face up at any given time. If a second card of the same color is played, the card with the higher value is flipped face down. Collecting loot. The value on the card plate indicates how many loot pieces the player claims in that card's color. However, loot can only be collected during the player's next turn if the card remains face up. Other players have a chance to claim loot too. If a player whose last card is face up is played, they take the corresponding chips from the center. If their card was turned over due to a lower card being played by another player, they gain nothing. Continuing play. The next player must play a card. Passing is not allowed. Players generally aim to play cards that can turn over others. It's also possible for a player to play a card face down without revealing it immediately. Loot collection continued. As round progresses and the supply of colored loot chips diminishes, players may begin to target each other. To do this, the targeted player must have the most loot chips of that specific color. In the event of a tie, loot is distributed as evenly as possible among the players involved. Keep in mind that there are only 12 chips of each color. Claiming more than this will result in losing any excess. Game end. The game concludes when all cards have been played and loot has been collected. Players tally their captured chips as points, with each chip worth 1 point. After reshuffling, the cards are dealt again for as many rounds as there are players. The overall winner is the player with the most points at the end. Variants. The officer. In games with 4 or 5 players, remove any value 1 card or 5 value 1 cards in a 3-player game. Introduce the officer card, allowing the player who plays it to turn over any face-up card. The officer card is then also flipped. Equal opportunities. Shuffle and deal cards only at the beginning. At the end of each round, players pass their cards to the left, ensuring everyone plays with each hand once. Scoring variant. Players note the number of chips collected in each color at the end of every round. Once a player collects 7 or more chips of a color, that color is crossed off. Further chips of that color do not contribute to the score, but can still be claimed to block others. The first player to cross off all 5 colors wins after several rounds. And that's how you play Riffifi. Riffifi is a truly engaging and dynamic card game that offers a unique experience every time you play. The gameplay is incredibly fun and straightforward, yet there's surprising depth in the strategy involved in deciding which cards to play each turn. One of the standout features is the equal opportunities variant. which ensures that all players have an equal chance by using the same set of cards. This variant adds an exciting layer of strategy, as players must remember which cards belong to which set. Even without this variant, each round feels fresh and thrilling. Players must manage their hands carefully and know the optimal timing for playing their cards to maximize their loot. Timing is absolutely crucial in this fast-paced game. I particularly enjoyed the theme of Riffifi, especially as a fan of the original Riffifi movie. It's great to see a card game that might have been inspired by a classic film. The artwork is visually appealing, featuring a diverse cast of characters that seem to have their own stories. However, the iconography could be improved. Having values on all corners would enhance accessibility for left-handed players. The components are standard for a game from this era. While nothing stands out, the cards shuffle nicely, and the wooden discs are perfectly adequate. The game box includes a basic insert and all the components fit snugly, though it can be a tight fit with sleeved cards. Overall, Riffifi is a super fun and unique card game that I always look forward to playing. I highly recommend it to fans of card games seeking a fresh and entertaining experience.
Moving on to our next pick.
Life's like a dinosaur race, full of surprises, strategy, and a little bit of luck. Mini Dinosaur is a thrilling racing card game that combines betting and hand management. Designed by Zonger and illustrated by Ming, it is published by Good Game Studio and accommodates 2 to 5 players. In Mini Dinosaur, players navigate their dinosaurs using cards while placing bets based on their predictions of the race outcome. Experience the excitement of a fast-paced dinosaur race in just 15 minutes. Can you foresee the winner? Tutorial Overview. Mini Dinosaur is a racing card game that combines betting and hand management. The objective is to score the most points by the end of the game. The game features 45 dinosaur cards, divided into 5 sets, each with unique colors and illustrations. In each set, 8 out of 9 cards depict dinosaurs running, known as running dinosaur cards. The 9th card in each set shows a dinosaur slipping, referred to as a slipping dinosaur. Additionally, there are 42 unique betting cards. These cards can earn you points based on specific conditions that must be met by the end of the race or game. For example, certain cards may score points if the green dinosaur finishes in first place or if the purple dinosaur comes in last. Setup 1. Dealing the cards. Shuffle all betting cards and deal 8 to each player. Shuffle all dinosaur cards and deal 10 cards each for 2 players, 10 cards each for 3 players, 8 cards each for 4 players, 7 cards each for 5 players. 2. Card restrictions. Players cannot rearrange the order of dinosaur cards in their hand. 3. First player. The player who most resembles a dinosaur goes first. How to play. Players take turns in a clockwise direction. On your turn, you may perform one of the following actions. 1. Play a dinosaur card. Play the leftmost dinosaur card from your hand to the public area. Players should group identical dinosaurs cards together for easy viewing. Optionally, you may discard any card from your hand before playing the leftmost dinosaur card. 2. Play a betting card. Choose one betting card from your hand and play it face up or face down. You can only play face up twice and face down twice throughout the game. No additional cards will be drawn during gameplay. If a player has no valid actions, they should skip their turn. Game end. The game concludes when one of the following occurs. A dinosaur has accumulated 5 cards. All players have no actions left. Players then calculate their betting card results, and the player with the most points wins. In case of a tie, the players share the victory. Notes: when playing with 2 players, an NPC will be included. Mini Dinosaur is a thrilling racing card game that brilliantly blends betting and hand management. Designed by Zonger and illustrated by Ming, this game is published by Good Game Studio and accommodates 2 to 5 players. In Mini Dinosaur, players navigate their dinosaurs using cards while strategically placing bets based on their predictions for the race outcome. The excitement builds as you engage in fast-paced gameplay that can be completed in just 15 minutes. This quick playtime makes it perfect for casual gaming sessions, family gatherings, or even as a filler between longer games. The game includes standard quality cards, which helps keep the overall cost affordable. While they may not be the most durable, they are adequate for casual play and contribute to the game's accessibility for a wide audience. The artwork in Mini Dinosaur is adorable and charming, featuring vibrant illustrations that bring the dinosaurs and their antics to life. Each card showcases unique and delightful designs, making it visually appealing for players of all ages. The playful style adds to the fun atmosphere, drawing players into the colorful world of dinosaur racing. The mechanics are straightforward yet engaging, allowing players to immerse themselves in the vibrant world of dinosaur racing. The unique betting system adds an extra layer of strategy, as you must carefully consider when to play your cards to maximize your scoring potential. The inclusion of betting cards that can be played face down really heightens the excitement and unpredictability of the endgame points. It keeps players on their toes, adding suspense and surprise as the final scores are revealed. Overall, Mini Dinosaur is a lot of fun. It reminded me of the board game Winner's Circle, which I truly love, but feels like a lighter and faster option. Whether you're a casual gamer or a seasoned strategist, this game is sure to entertain and keep you coming back for more. Will you be able to foresee the winner and come out on top? Grab your cards and find out.
The next hidden gem in our list is
What makes a board game truly unforgettable? Join me as I uncover the charm and excitement of Mahe, a classic reimagined. Mahe is a children's racing board game that incorporates mechanics such as roll and move, dice rolling, and push your luck. Designed by the renowned game designer Alex Randolph and beautifully illustrated by Clemens Franz, Wanjin Gill, and Atelier198. This version was published by Plate in 2024. The game accommodates 2 to 7 players, has an average playtime of 30 minutes, and is suitable for ages 8 and up. This iteration of Mahe serves as a modern reimagining of Randolph's earlier game, Kangaroo. Originally released by Otto Meyer Verlag, now known as Ravensburger, over the years the game has inspired numerous versions, including titles like Pushover and Monster Frozen. In Mahe, players embody turtles competing to lay the most eggs. The game's namesake, Mahe, is one of the islands in the Seychelles, a picturesque republic consisting of 92 islands in the western Indian Ocean, with Victoria as its capital. Known for its stunning landscapes, Mahe is also celebrated as a nesting ground for turtles. In this racing game, turtles navigate around the island, aiming to lay as many eggs as possible. As they reach the beaches, they lay the number of eggs indicated on the top card of the egg deck. When all the egg cards have been claimed, a final round commences, where players can lay up to 7 eggs, and the turtle with the most eggs wins. Tutorial. Components: 1 board, 3 dice, 7 turtle pieces, 7 turtle cards, 24 egg cards with values from 1 to 6. Setup: 1. Each player chooses 1 turtle piece and places it on the raft on the board. 2. Take a turtle card of the same color as your turtle piece and place it in front of you to indicate your turtle. 3. Shuffle the 24 egg cards and place them face down. Then discard the top 4 cards. These 4 cards are not used in the game. Place the remaining 20 cards face down in the egg-laying area on the board. 4. Reveal the top card of the deck and place it face up. 5. Players take turns starting with a chosen player who rolls the 3 dice. How to play. On your turn, roll the 3 dice one by one. The total of the dice should not exceed 7. If the total after rolling the first die is acceptable, you may choose to roll the second die. If the total remains 7 or less, you can roll the third die. If the sum exceeds 7 during the second or third roll, your turtle returns to the raft, and it becomes the next player's turn. Turtle movement. The turtle moves counterclockwise and can pass other turtles. Upon passing square 21, it wraps around to square 1. When leaving the raft, it begins at square 1. If you roll 1 die, move forward by that number. If you roll 2 dice, and the total is 7 or less, multiply the sum by 2 and move forward accordingly. If you roll 3 dice and the total is 7 or less, multiply the sum by 3 and move forward accordingly. Turtle piggybacking. When your turtle lands on another turtle on the board, this turtle is placed on top of that turtle, or turtles, which will form a stack of turtles. The turtle in the bottom carries all turtles on top when it moves on its turn. On the turn of the carrying turtle, the turtle on top decides whether to roll the second and third dice. If the result is 7 or less, all turtles above move. If it exceeds 7, they all return to the raft. Turtles underneath the carrying turtle are not affected by this. Egg card. When a turtle reaches or passes square 21, its player takes an egg card, which indicates how many eggs have been laid. Only the top turtle in a stack can claim the egg card when multiple turtles reach the square simultaneously. When an egg card is claimed, players reveal the topmost egg card from the egg deck. Game end. When the last egg card is claimed, a spot on the board where the egg was laid is marked with a 7. Any turtle that reaches or passes square 21 at this point earns 7 egg points, ending the game. Players then tally their points from the egg cards, and the player with the most points wins. In the event of a tie, the player with the most egg cards wins. The value 7 egg board space counts as a card for the person who claimed it. Mahe for 2 or 3 players. In a 2 or 3 player game, each player controls 2 turtles. Players roll the dice for 1 turtle and move it, then repeat for the second turtle. Egg cards collected are combined at the end for scoring. Variant. Instead of rolling the dice, players can use an egg card they have already acquired as a substitute for the second or third roll, provided the total does not exceed 7. The egg card used in this way is discarded and does not count toward the player's score at the end. During the turn of the turtle in the middle of the turtle tower, the top turtle can use their egg card instead of letting the middle turtle roll the dice. However, the turtles in the middle of the tower cannot be forced to use their egg card. Having enjoyed Mahe in its previous iterations, I was excited to try this new edition, and I must say I thoroughly enjoyed it. This delightful children's racing board game is surprisingly fun for adults as well. The game's fast-paced nature and the randomness of the dice rolls, coupled with the exciting push your luck mechanics, keeps every round engaging and lively. Mahe plays best with a larger group of 4 to 7 players, making it perfect for family gatherings or game nights with friends. The gameplay is reminiscent of the original Kangaroo, showcasing a similarity to other titles like Pushover or Taxi Over and Monster Frozen. Yet each game possesses its own unique charm. For instance, in Pushover, players can bump or push others off the board, while in Monster Frozen, you bop players you land on. In Mahe, players can carry other turtles along their path, adding a fun twist that enhances the experience. The artwork in Mahe is gorgeous, and I truly appreciate the overall aesthetic of the game. The illustrations on the cards, game board, and box are all beautifully done, adding to the enjoyment of the game. The cards are easy to read with clear text. The components are varied, and I particularly loved how the game box transforms into the game board. This innovative design is one of the publisher's signature productions. The turtle meeples are another highlight. Their size, unique colors, and adorable designs make them a joy to handle. The cards, while having a good texture, are a bit thin, but they shuffle well. The dice were fairly standard D6, but they rolled well, and I appreciated the blue color selection that complements the game's overall aesthetic. Overall, Mahe is an incredibly delightful game that I always enjoy playing. Kangaroo is regarded as one of Alex Randolph's finest works, and Mahe wonderfully captures the beauty and elegance of that game, while introducing a fresh new version. It's fantastic to see older games return with new iterations. Alex Randolph was an exceptional game designer whose influence can be seen in many subsequent releases, including modern classics like Camelot. If you're looking for a fun, fast-paced game that brings people together, Mahe is definitely worth a spot on your game shelf.
Finally, we have a real treat with
In any confrontation, the most successful strategies often unfold in the shadows, where deception and foresight reign supreme. Age of Eon is a strategic dueling card game. The game is designed and illustrated by Zion Wu and is published by Giza Games in 2024. The game accommodates 2 players, but a 4-player mode is also available. The game takes around 20 to 30 minutes to play. In a long-forgotten era, 4 enigmatic ancient empires known as Infernia, Tikan, Aten, and Yonoshiro once thrived. However, their existence came to an abrupt end when their demigod rulers invoked forbidden spells, banishing their empires to a timeless dimension known as the Land of Eon. With this mystical realm, a powerful artifact, the Eternal Stone, lies dormant, calling forth a great conflict. A monumental battle for control of the Eternal Stone has now begun. Players will assume the roles of the leaders of these ancient empires as they navigate the treacherous landscapes of the Land of Eon and vie for dominance over the coveted artifact. The objective is to emerge victorious by defeating each of your opponent's characters in a sequence of battles and acquiring the legendary Eternal Stone. Rules Summary: This is a strategic dueling card game for 2 players. The objective of the game is to win battles against your opponent's characters by claiming the most land in each battle. If you manage to defeat all 3 of your opponent's characters, you win and obtain the powerful Eternal Stone. The game consists of cards. Each empire has 3 unique character cards, a set of 10 attack cards, each with a value from 1 to 10. The game also comes with 1 Eternal Stone card, 4 Sacred Seal cards, 4 land cards, 1 per empire, and 4 command cards, 2 per attack type. The players need to set up the land area randomly, which would be in between them on the table. The land area consists of 2 things: the land card and a command card on top. Each land card is distinct in color, representing one of the 4 empires. You then place a command card on top, which shows what kind of attack cards are played in this land. The players need to create 3 lands in this way. Each land which is between the players can hold up to 3 cards per player. Once 3 cards are on a player's side, no more cards can be played there by that particular player. The players choose the order and battle sequence of their 3 character cards. Then they shuffle their attack cards and draw 7 cards. Each character card has a special ability called a Mighty Force, which may be triggered by the player once per battle. To trigger this ability, the player needs to play enough attack cards that give enough power. Each attack card has a power score, and once enough power is gained, the player may or may not trigger the ability before or after they play a card. Each character has a unique ability. A player's turn consists of playing a single card either face up or face down. If the player plays an attack card face up, they have to place the attack card on the land that matches the attack type symbol, either magical or physical attack. Some attack cards depict both of these and can be played onto any land. Some attack cards have special abilities, such as flipping an opponent's card, or bonuses, such as flipping an opponent's attack card that is on the same land, or bonus power cards if played at your empire's land. If a player plays an attack card face down, they may play it on any land on their side, given that there is room in that land. Then they take 1 Sacred Seal card and block off 1 available slot from any of their opponent's land areas. Each player can only use 2 of these per battle. To claim a land, the player needs to have the most power in that given land. If at the end of the battle, the player wins the majority of the lands, they win the battle and thus defeat the first character of their opponent. Once all character cards have been dealt with, the game is over and the surviving player claims the Eternal Stone. Game modes: 1 vs 1, Beginner mode, Normal mode, Hard mode, and Expert mode. Expansions: Chaos expansion, which also introduces a 4-player mode. Age of Eon is one of the best dueling card games that I've had the pleasure of playtesting and previewing in 2024. I've even included this game in my top board games and card games of 2024 with an honorable mention. Now that it has officially released and is available, I would definitely include it in my top 30 board games and card games for this year, 2025. The gameplay is enjoyable and engaging. It was cool trying out the different character cards and their unique special abilities. There was a lot of back and forth with the land control, especially when using the attack cards that flip the opponent's attack card on the same land. It's great that both players didn't have the entire Empire's deck in their hand, so it leads to guessing which cards are in play. The game is fast-paced, really easy to learn and teach, and typically takes around 20 to 30 minutes to play. The artwork in the game is alluring and vibrant. I really enjoyed the cards' illustrations. Each card was beautiful and unique. The artwork on the game box was pretty cool too. The components, which included the cards, were somewhat thin, although they had a good texture and shuffled well. Overall, Age of Eon is an enjoyable strategic dueling card game for 2 players. For such a small deck of cards, there's a lot of intense moments and decision making with how, when, and where to play your cards. The gameplay is engaging and the theme and setting are intriguing. However, I would appreciate additional lore and background stories for each of the empires and characters. The artwork is vibrant and captivating. This is definitely one to check out, especially if you enjoy dueling card games.
Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're on the hunt for more hidden gems and awesome non-mainstream games, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. See you next time!